All right. Hi, everybody. We're two Teabags. I'm Erin.
I'm Jen.
All right. And so today we're going to do our first book review. And the book review that we're going to do is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Amazing book.
Mm-hmm.
So the way our book reviews are going to go, we have a series of 8 questions that we'll go through, kind of talk about what we liked about the book, who we think would be good, the book would be good for someone to read, and what our favorite parts were about it. And and then you guys can choose what you decide if you want to read it or not.
Yeah.
But thought we'd share. So here we go.
And we're doing it on the same book this time because we just came off of a 75 hard challenge, and
Yes.
part of that challenge is that you every day there's a whole list of things that you have to do every day, but one of them is that at minimum you need to read 10 pages of a self-development book every day. So Erin had already heard about this one from another podcast that she listens to, and I thought, okay, we're always reading different things. We're always reading, but I thought we really need to read something that's the same so we can, talk about it. And we were in the challenge together, so we just thought that would be fun. But going forward, we're going to probably just interview each other on the books that we're reading, and people come to us with suggestions on what good books are. We'll probably read them together again, but for the most part, we've always got something in rotation over here. So, but we thought we'd start with this one. It's a really good one.
So first question was how we found out about the book. I was listening to a podcast with Emily Frisella, who is Andy Frisella's wife, and he was the creator of 75 Hard. So she has a great podcast if you want a good listen. But they talked about this book on her podcast, so we went with it.
Yep. And so, I of course read it because she was.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to follow her?
Aww. So next thing is, what was your biggest aha moment?
Gosh, there were so many. There really were. As you can see, I got dog ears and Post-it notes everywhere. But I think it was the "Don't Break the Chain," which obviously for me is reminiscent of "Never Break the Train" by Fleetwood Mac. But just that, don't ever miss twice. I mean, we're human. We're gonna fall. We're gonna have days where we just don't feel like doing something that we're trying to commit to. Especially if you're trying to establish a new habit on top of what you already do in your routine. But just don't miss it twice, because then if you miss it twice, like he says in the book, then you're creating a new habit.
Right. Yes, I like that.
How about you?
Mine was the difference between motion and action.
Oh, so good.
Yes. So
hence why we're here.
Yeah, why we're here today from this exact thing. So in the book, he talks about motion is planning and strategizing and learning, which again is always a good thing too, but at a certain point you have to take action, and action is the behavior that will deliver an outcome. But so that was a big, huge aha moment, because you can learn and strategize and plan for as long as you want, but sometimes you just have to take that step and that motion, and that's when you start moving. So that was for me.
Yeah.
What did you learn from the book that you are adding to your daily life and routine?
Oh, definitely habit stacking.
Amen.
And building a perfect cue. He talks in the book. Actually, the book is set up so that he goes through the 4 laws of habit creating or habit abolishing. But so he goes through the 4 laws, but then there is a part where he talks about like the neurological, which is totally speaks to the nerd part, the neurological feedback loop of habit creating. And that is, first there's a cue, second there's a craving, third, there's a response, and fourth, there's a reward. So if you can really build a cue, like when you're trying to, especially when you're trying to do something, you're trying to create something new, if you can build that perfect cue, that immediately when that happens, you're just go, you know?
Yeah.
So
And that's as simple as like putting on your tennis shoes, right?
Exactly.
Putting on your tennis shoes, like you want to start running or walking in the morning. Well, what do you got to do first?
Right.
You got to put on your tennis shoes. You got to get on your workout clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
Like sometimes just getting in that habit, then you grow that habit.
Or if you're trying to break a habit, you know, maybe like it's one of those things where you're like, I don't want to be mindlessly eating things anymore. So before you go and grab something, it's like, do something where you're like, I have to take 4 breaths and think about this. You know, do I really want this additional, you know, cookie or whatever? So if you're trying to break a habit, you know, there's cues to help you break those things too. So I think that was, that paired with the, you know, the thing that I said was my aha moment, and, you know, don't break the chain.
Yeah.
Definitely, that just was the biggest for me.
Absolutely.
And you?
Mine was habit stacking. I mean, habit stacking is essentially once you create a habit, then if you want to add something more into it, then you create that habit on top of the other habit. So like for me, I walk every morning, get up. Well, I wanted to start doing planks every morning. So at the end, I got the walking done. Like that became a routine, a great habit. So now at the end of my walk, before I walk in the house, drop down to the ground and do a plank.
Immediately do a plank.
Yep. So that then makes it easier to create those habits. So yeah, habit stacking was definitely something I want to incorporate and continue to build on, you know, with other different habits as well. Favorite quote?
Oh, mine is, small habits don't add up, they compound.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, lots of good stuff. Again, you know, so many things that are quotable and notable in the book, but it's true. And it goes, you know, it goes right along with that habit stacking. And, you know, we're really, that you're looking for your habit to really bring a reward. And whether that's you're adding something to your life or you're trying to take something away, you know, there's a reward in that. So, and it's always going to be more than just that. You know, you're going to get either the relief that you're no longer doing something that doesn't speak to the highest you, or you're going to, you know, you're going to have the celebration of, yay, I do this now. You know, like us. Every day now we get up and we exercise first thing in the morning, and whew, that one was rough at the beginning.
But now it's a habit.
I know.
So yay, yes. So mine was again going back to the action motion. If motion does not lead to results, why do we do it? Sometimes we do it because we actually need to plan or learn more. But more often than not, we do it because motion allows us to feel like we're making progress without running the risk of failure. That's why we're here today. We have been talking about doing these videos and doing book reviews and for doing 2 years.
Yes.
For doing this for 2 years, and here we are.
Thinking of it and planning it, and you know, it's like that vacation list that everything just keeps getting longer and longer and longer, and then you're like, well, wait, where is the enjoyment in that? You know, it's the actual, you know, the experience of it all. So we just finally said, okay, we have to do it. We have to do it. Just our authentic selves. We can't wait for some perfect moment. We've got to just get out there. So yeah, here we are. In action.
What was my little note that I wrote for myself? I'd rather fail than quit or not try. So here we are.
We're just giving it our best shot. This is risk. This is risk, people.
Yes.
How about for you? What? How does that quote pertain to who you are and your purpose and what you want to
Oh,
do and be in the world.
okay. So I'm a fairly organized, planned out. Yeah. If anyone knows the Enneagrams, I am a number 1, type 1. I like to plan, very precise on things, and I don't like to fail. I mean, not that anyone enjoys failure, but I mean, that whole risk of failure scares the shit out of me. So learning about this and learning, like, you know what, just do it. You gotta just roll with it and do it. Was definitely a huge eye opener for me.
Yeah.
So, and you, how was this
Are
reflective
you-
of you?
Well,
Or you
real
want
quick,
you want
though.
to come back to me? Okay.
I do. I want to
Okay.
come back to you. You more afraid of failing yourself, or are you more afraid of failing in a partnership or a team?
Probably in a partnership or a team, for sure. Yeah.
But that was one of the things that I liked about this, because it said if you are not measuring, which kind of is another one of my aha moments and something that, but it said, pain is a really good teacher. And sometimes we're willing to justify what we fail to do for ourselves and just keep going and ignore it. But if we would make an accountability partner part of our whole plan, like, oh my God, this woman, I'm so glad she's my accountability partner. And somebody who watches you, not, obviously it's not your responsibility to do what I need to do for myself, or vice versa, anyone, but if there's somebody watching and you have that habit contract with them, then you're not gonna lie to yourself, and
Exactly.
and no, I mean, I don't want to fail as part of a team either, but there's been plenty of times where I haven't done something that I promised to myself, and I easily wrote it off because I didn't have somebody to say, hey, did you do that today?
How'd it go?
How'd it go?
How'd it go?
So yeah, that's why I had to ask that question, because that was one of the things that I liked in there too, like, make it public and make it painful if you don't do it.
Find your community is what he talks about as well.
Oh
in here,
gosh, yeah.
which is
Building
huge.
your environment, and that we, your space, even around you, your workspace, your home space, your people, that because you take on the habits of your community.
Absolutely.
So find a community that reflects what you desire for yourself.
Right.
And again, we're a perfect example of that here.
Yeah, we're so thankful.
Not perfect, but we're a real example of that here. And
absolutely.
And we love that. And
Yeah.
we love how people give us ideas and we go with it, or people hop onto ours and they're like, okay, that, I always wondered what you ladies did. So, so we're grateful for that. What was the question? Sorry. I flipped it back to you.
That's all right. How is this reflective of you and what purpose you believe you have in the world?
Okay, so my quote was, small habits don't add up, they compound. And for me, it just really came down to practice. And then when you're done practicing, practice some more.
Yes.
So, because I mean, perfection is not ours as humans to deal with. That's God's work. But excellence is ours. To
I like
me,
that.
I don't remember who that quote came from. I can't take credit for that. But I believe that. So we can strive for excellence. Perfection is just a mechanism of control. So perfectionism, you
She likes to get deep.
Yeah.
You will find this as we go through more videos of conversation.
She just rolls with me. I love her. I love her for that. But if we truly want to master something, we're gonna have to practice it. And the book speaks to this too. Like, you have to be able to get through the boredom of what it is that becomes so mundane and so like, oh, I'm just over this. in order to get to that level of mastery, because you want it for yourself. And then for those people that are watching you, you know, if you're a parent, if you're a spouse, if you're part of a team, if you're, you know, if you're responsible for modeling to anyone, you know, you want to be the epitome of that. So
well, and
practicing.
sometimes you don't even know who is truly watching.
Oh my gosh,
who
or
is
listening.
Yes.
Yeah, any of that. So
I mean, you might be an inspiration for someone else, and
Yeah.
you have absolutely no idea, and you're just, you know, struggling through whatever. Well, people might be looking up to you. So, not saying that you always have to be on show for others, but you know, people are always watching. Just so do what you want people to see at all times, not when people are watching, all the time.
right, and that just the realness.
Yeah.
Authentic you.
Okay, who do you think would benefit from reading this book?
Oh my gosh, anybody.
Anybody and everyone.
Anybody and everybody. I don't. If you're nerdy like me, there's some science in it, so that's great. Anybody wishing for lasting change, whether
Mhm.
you are already disciplined or, you know, regimented, I think it's good to know like what because I love how he talked about identity in here too.
Mhm.
Like, don't get too attached to who you are by what you do, because that could change at
Right.
any time. But also, if you, like, Erin's super, super organized, and I love that about her. I am a fly by the seat of your pants gal, so it benefits me to have to figure out how to like just line out my day, line up,
Create
and
routines.
create the routine, and realize where I'm losing time, or where I could get better, or where I could fit something in that
Right.
is so yeah, I think it's good for anyone.
Awesome.
You?
Oh, again, anyone.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so was there any held value or belief of yours that this book reignited you to dive deeper into and take a new perspective?
Yes. So for me, it was a couple of things. It was when he talks about genes and productivity and selection, that I love his quote in there too that says, "Our genes do not eliminate the need for hard work, they clarify it." I love that because as an example, I'm not a runner. I mean, I'm not built like a runner, but I challenge myself to run because I like the challenge.
Yeah.
You know,
And now
But-
you're a great runner.
oh, I wouldn't say great, but I run.
You run, you do it. You show
Generally-
up and you do it.
Generally away from my feelings, but no. Kidding. Kidding. I run straight into them, and that's a problem too. And then he also says, until you work as hard as those you admire, don't explain away their success as luck.
Ooh.
Oy, I love it. So
That's
I love that, because there are people that I admire, and there's also people that I don't want to pick up their habits.
Mhm.
So some of those people are in my blood family, and I don't want anybody going, that's just a, you know, genetic thing. I'm like, no, it's not.
Nope.
So that contract, we already kind of talked about that, about making your habits public
Yeah.
and painful if you fail. And then his idea to exploit or explore an area. I'm not gonna really go into that, but it did kind of change my thought process. And then this is kind of a Hunger Games thing, but creating a game so that the odds are in your favor. So asking yourself, you know, what am I already a natural at?
Right.
Where do I lose track of time when I'm doing it? You know, where do I get greater returns than the average person?
Mhm.
So, and what, you know, what's fun? what's fun to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people are
If
always
you
like,
make the habits fun,
Yeah.
then you're more inclined to do them and stick with them.
Right.
So
how about you? What was
I mean, mine
mind blowing or
Mine always
reaffirming?
came back to the whole action and motion thing. I mean, that was just, you know, sometimes when you read a book, there's just, I mean, there were so many great things about this book, but the thing that just resonated with me was the whole action and motion thing. Because, you know, again, I can plan and strategize and organize and do all of this stuff for hours on end, but until you actually take that step and take that action, you're not really going anywhere. So that was a huge thing for me. But so again, we think it's for anyone. If you want to read it, go and get it. It's a fantastic read.
Yeah.
And then what are you reading next?
I'm gonna be reading, or am reading Burnout. It's Burnout: The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle, and it's by Amelia and Emily Nagoski.
Oh.
I hope I didn't butcher your name. Yeah, two sisters that wrote a book that, I mean, I am really enjoying. So
Awesome.
Again, total nerd alert. There's lots of science in there, which I love. But it goes right along with what my role is here, in a lot of the technological and the assistant side of things. So I love that. How about you?
Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty.
Oh, love him.
Which love Jay Shetty.
Love
If you
Jay
don't
Shetty.
already follow Jay Shetty on social media, highly recommend it. Super great follow. So our next two videos will be me interviewing Jen and Jen interviewing me on the next one.
Yeah.
So again, thanks for
Thank you.
watching, and if you liked what we had to say about the book, go and read it for yourself. It's got some life-changing stuff in it.
It's great. And then there's some little things in there about like how to apply this stuff in the business, in a business sense.
He has great resources
Right.
in the book.
Such great resources,
apply
such
it.
great stuff on his website too. There are spreadsheets, there's forms.
Yeah.
It's great.
Endless stuff to check out.
Yeah.
So again, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Check
Thanks,
it
James.
out.
Great
yes,
read.
yes. Thank you so much.
All right.
And again, thanks guys for watching.
Yeah.
All right, see you next time.
Take care. Be well.